We are live here on Facebook Live and on YouTube, whichever you like to see us here. The Hemp Connoisseur. Welcome to Gray Matter.
Excellent. Gray Matter.
Gray Matter. For those of you who have not witnessed before, my name is David Madalena. I'm the founder of Hemp Connoisseur Magazine. Now we are doing a lot of fun media stuff. And then I have one of my best friends in the entire world, a college roommate, fellow actor back in the day. Well, he still does it. I haven't done it much. And Mr. Robert Lee Davis. How are you today, Rob?
I'm good. How's it going?
It's good, man. It's good. It's been a weird couple of weeks, right?
Okay.
Because we've been dealing with the weirdest transition of power I think we've ever had, right?
It's crazy, at least in our lifetime.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna smoke a quick bowl, really, because I need
Do what you have to
I haven't had
do.
the head change yet. I need the head change for this conversation.
Okay.
And you know what I love about this? I'm gonna tell everybody this was not planned. But I told you this yesterday, like last week I did, and I was like, I wonder if Facebook's ever gonna kick us off because like I might consume a quick hit or something while we're talking, because whatever. We're gonna start calling like a full series of these called Higher Conversations, where you can be high if you want, you don't have to be. But the idea was that double entendre of the words, and like we're having a higher level conversation sometimes we're not, who cares? But what I love is I'm literally holding a bowl, nobody can see it because my microphone's blocking it, and so
nice.
Here's my question. This has nothing to do with anything else that we're going to talk about today, but who cares?
Okay.
So did you know that would Facebook ban me for what I just did if they saw me do it? Like, I mean, I know they could be monitoring. I'd love to hear what people think about that. I'm curious myself, honestly.
They might.
They might. But we'll see, I guess. I don't see us on here yet. I wonder if we're live or not.
We're live. I see it.
Okay, so why? See, you know what it is? I always have the different view. I have to hit view as visitor. That's what I got to do. Got to do. There we are. We do the view as visitor. Anyway, back to this. Like I just had a quick smoke of a bowl, and the smoke came out, and Facebook bans me for that. They can go after themselves because they seem to be okay with hate speech all the time. So I'm not hurting anybody, but it reminds me of the idea of the alcohol ads. Do you guys know do you know what I'm talking about, by the way, Rob? So I don't know if anybody else knows this. A lot of people don't realize this, but whenever there's an ad for alcohol on TV, you will never see somebody actually drinking the alcohol. Okay? Did you know that? A lot of people don't know that.
I never paid attention to that till you mentioned it.
Yeah, so and I'm not sure whoever decided the rules for alcohol, and actually it may have very well been the alcohol industry. I think that was one of the weird things they said, yeah, we'll do this, is that you can never actually show consumption of alcohol on TV in an ad. Obviously in a show or whatever new, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But go ahead, anybody out there, go ahead and watch an ad, any beer ad, Super Bowl commercial, anything, and watch it and you'll realize that there's never, ever like the witnessing of consumption of alcohol. It's the money shot. You'll see, you might see the beer go up, but it never touches his lip, and then you'll see it coming down. And that's, that's one of the stipulations they had. And if we ever get to a point where marijuana can be advertised, I would assume that might be the same way. So I'm wondering, anybody out there who saw that first minute of me where I did have a quick hit, and I'll do it again that way. Nobody gets to see the pipe or anything, unfortunately. But would that be allowable? Is that good for family? Because you don't know what it is. I mean, you see people smoking cigarettes, which kills 100,000 people a year, right? And alcohol kills, I think we're at 80,000 people a year for alcohol-related deaths on average. And cannabis, zero.
Right. That's still not permeating the atmosphere in the way that it should.
Oh, I still had to deal with my bank today for hemp, because there's hemp in the name of our company, and I mean, and that's insane. I almost lost it, and usually pretty cool character on this stuff. But like, come on, man, for 10 plus years, I've been doing this shit.
Right.
And it's federally legal, and you're going to give me, a problem because hemp's in our title. And it's like, okay, great. And part of me is sometimes like, teaching opportunity, education for the person who doesn't know what hemp. I'm like, you do realize what hemp is. And they tell us like, well, it's marijuana, right? It's like, no. And I'm like, oh my God, you live in Colorado and you don't know this. And it's like, and
It's up to you to educate the people.
so prejudiced of me now to think that just because you live in Colorado, you know what cannabis is and you understand the difference between hemp and marijuana under the cannabis landscape. And it's so
Right.
And because I'm like, don't you know this by osmosis? Isn't it in the air that you just learn this? Oh no, I still have to teach this to you. if you're
Doesn't
not paying
everybody in the state just naturally know it?
aren't we all high? Aren't we
Right.
all high?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I do want to have so look, we're gonna get into politics. We absolutely gonna get into politics, but I do want to have some conversations more now that we've been kind of getting in the flow of things, Rob, about hemp.
Mhm.
And since what I love
Yeah.
is as one of my nearest and dearest friends, you've never been in the cannabis side of things. We were always friends, and I have friends like this on different things, and I don't, but like where I have I was like this in high school too. It was like, oh, here's all my theater friends, and here's my like production friends, and then
Mm.
here's my hemp friends, here's my marijuana friends, and it's like, I love to intermingle all those groups,
Right.
but
Right.
so sometimes those circles don't meet. I mean, you're in New York, you're not out here in Colorado. It'd be very different then, I'm sure, but
Mm.
so as our conversation progressed, I'm like, God, you know what? I haven't really educated you on hemp on a lot of
Okay.
things,
Okay.
and so you're my guinea pig. Rob. You're just like I'm using you, of course,
All right.
to help explain to other people if they want some of the cool things that I love about hemp, and a lot of times. The thing that most people know about hemp is now what they know about hemp is that CBD is amazing, and it is, and then there's I can make
Mm.
rope and paper and and I can make shirts out of it, but they don't know a lot
Yes.
about
Yes.
it, and they don't know a lot about it, and then there's the common conversations that you have from the truly ignorant, like, can I get high on my shirt? Can I smoke that plant? Can I smoke that shirt and get high? It's like, come on, man. Can we
Can I
just
smoke my
can I
shirt?
smoke that shirt? We talked about this. We might have to do this, like a little campaign, and back in the day, and my many ideas that don't come to anything because I'm so like next squirrel goes by and I'm like, whoa. But was like creating a whole campaign of like don't smoke that shit, Dwayne. We were gonna call the guy Dwayne. We're gonna create a character and we're gonna have like an educational series. Like, did you know that hemp can be made into a biocomposite plastic material that's at least 10 times stronger than steel, and it can do all these things, and you can put it on the bumper of your car. And then we're gonna show this guy Dwayne who's like look at the car like for real, and he was gonna go over there with a lighter and try to light the bumper because.
Or Dwayne.
Oh yeah, Dwayne. Sorry, Dwayne. It doesn't matter. And just like, no, you can't smoke that shit, Dwayne. And that was going to be like the idea of the video. And we were
That
like, "Bam."
would work, even if no one knew what it was for. If there was a shirt that
You're
just
right.
said you can't smoke that shit, Dwayne,
Don't
people
smoke.
would
Well,
wear
and
it.
that's what we were gonna have a shirt that says "Don't smoke this shirt, Dwayne," and just like
People would wear it.
people would wear
They
it.
don't
So
even-
sorry,
they
somebody
don't
else is
even
gonna
ask
make
for it.
that T-shirt now and make like a bazillion dollars off of it
But we have this video as proof. that
we
she
do
said
have
it.
video of this proof. That's right. It's dated. It's stamped. So don't fuck with
Yes,
us.
it is.
If you want to do that,
Right.
come call me. You just reach out to us. But so there's all these great usages of hemp that a lot of people
Okay.
aren't aware of.
Mhm.
So there's times when I may just wax poetic on the history of hemp and kind of give you my philosophical ideas, but I'd love to talk to you about this substance because that called graphene. Have you heard of graphene
Okay.
before, Rob? And a lot of
I
people
have
haven't. Okay, great. So graphene is, and here's the thing for people, and you know this already about me, Rob. I've talked to you about this before. I'm kind of a futurist. Like, I believe that we should be going for a better future for all of mankind, right? All of womankind, all of humankind in the planet. Sorry. So
Yes.
and that future to me is like, and I think that what most best embodies it, and and it's cliche, but I don't care because sometimes cliches exist for a reason, right? And
True.
is Star Trek, right?
Mm.
Like, in the idea of Star Trek kind of falls into the idea of America to me. It's this idea of a more perfect, for them, it's a more perfect universe or galaxy, right? In Star Trek. But for me, it's a more perfect world, a more perfect country, a more perfect union. And the
So
brilliance
there
of
were no black men in the Star Trek world. I love Star Trek. but
well,
there's no
wait,
black-
no, there was one. They had the token. They had the token.
Wow. So
They had the token.
So that far into the future, the dream is to be a token again. And I say
Well-
that as someone who totally loves Star Trek.
Okay, let's talk about this. They had the token in the very first Star Trek, right?
Mhm.
And it was Uhura. I'm not a early
Ahura. Yeah,
Ahura.
yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
And they actually, did you know? I didn't know. I learned this a couple years ago that Star Trek actually had the first biracial kiss.
Yes, it did. Her and Captain Kirk.
Yeah, look at Will Shatner.
Yes,
He
Jen and
got
I
busy.
talked about that on Taking You Back. Yes, yes,
Well,
yes.
did you talk about that on Taking You Back? Because
We
for those of
did.
you out there who don't know this, Rob has a great podcast with
Oh,
another fellow SU
yes, the
alum,
amazing Jen
the
Waring.
amazing Jen
Yes.
Waring. And you guys do a great.
TakingYouBack.com.
You
Check it
do
out.
it's fun. It's a great podcast because while I'm listening to the podcast, I almost want to call and be like, and what about this thing that happened that year? So it's really fun. It's a great it's a trip down nostalgia lane, and
Yes.
with
Yes.
two very funny people, and
Oh, thank you.
it's very entertaining, guys. So you definitely should check that out. But
Yes.
back to the
Interracial kiss.
the interracial kiss. Well, the thing is, I mean, there was already interspecies kisses going on with Captain Kirk. All right, so what? It wasn't like they already went past.
I mean, once you have interspecies, then of course
Dude,
you can have interracial. There
because
you
he
go.
just showed up on the planet, no oxygen, no nothing. I love that the captain of the ship is the first to go. Like, there's some logic there. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, so he goes down and he doesn't matter. He's with aliens, so what's the matter? But then we also had I'm sorry, and when I said Token, I wasn't even thinking of the old school. I was thinking of the Star Trek: The Next Generation. And that one had Geordi, right? You remember Geordi?
Oh, was that LeVar Burton's character?
Thank you, LeVar Burton's character. And
Yes.
so the thing about that one, which is